all for coming. My name is Nihad Awad, N-I-H-A-D, A-W-A-D, the National Executive Director of CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, America's largest Muslim civil liberties and advocacy organization. We're here today among national and local Muslim leaders to announce the release and endorsement of an open letter to the leader of ISIS to refute the religious claims that ISIS uses to conduct military campaigns and killings against innocent people, Muslims, and people of other faiths alike. This letter has been prepared by a group of world-class Muslim scholars around the Muslim world and has been drafted over the past few weeks. It has been signed by about 126 scholars, muftis, and thought leaders in the Muslim world. It has been also endorsed by major American Muslim scholars, leaders, and community activists. And we are urging more people after this press conference to join the website and add their names to endorse this message. The letter is written in Arabic. It is using heavy classical religious text and classical religious scholars that ISIS has used to mobilize young people to join its forces. So the letter is not meant for liberal audience or for reformers. Many people might not be familiar with the Islamic text, and they may find it difficult to understand. Even mainstream Muslims, when they read it, they know that this is heavy classical text. It is meant and it is designed consciously to reach a special audience, a conservative audience, to dissuade them using the original text from the Quran, the Muslim revealed text, and the Hadith, the tradition of the Prophet, to debunk and expose the falsity ISIS claims and uses to justify its conduct, its existence against the Muslims and people of other faiths in the region. We believe that the letter is very effective, it is very convincing, and it is time for mainstream Muslims around the world to express themselves using the same text that ISIS leaders have used over the past years. This is not the first time Muslim scholars and leaders condemn ISIS and condemn terrorism and extremist violence. We in the Muslim American community have done so many times in so many years via statements, videos, PSAs, and public statements. Joint efforts nationally and locally have been recognized by anyone who observes the position of the American Muslim community. The ideology of ISIS is rejected by American Muslims in the United States, and we feel that the American Muslim community has spoken in a unified way many times to reject the ideology and conduct of ISIS. I wrote an op-ed to the Time magazine a few weeks ago, urging commentators, policymakers, and politicians not to refer to ISIS as the Islamic State. It is not a state, it is not Islamic. It has been deviating from Islam and the rules of engagement even in the battlefield. Not to refer to them as jihadists, because jihad is a legitimate concept in Islam, and ISIS has been violating that tradition of self-defense. In the Quran, as you will see in the letter, it speaks clearly and unequivocally against any kind of aggression. And therefore, if you refer to the fighters of ISIS as jihadists, you're defeating the purpose. You are giving them legitimacy. At the same time, you try to delegitimize them. ISIS leaders have successfully, unfortunately, misused these terminologies and the symbols within Islam to recruit young people, disenfranchised Muslims, many who feel a sense of defeat and who aspire to the revival of the zenith of Islamic civilization and the caliphate. These are false claims that ISIS has been trying to revive using these legitimate symbols, and that's why mainstream Muslims around the world are telling young Muslims around the world that these legitimate titles do not fit and do not belong to ISIS. They belong to the Ummah, the concept of the Muslim community and the Muslim world. And ISIS has been exploiting injustices and legitimate grievances to fill a vacuum of leadership in the region. And finally, military solution is not the only solution to resolve the problem in the region. We need a comprehensive strategy. We need to rebuild societies. We need to focus on education and diplomatic and political solutions. I would like to introduce Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui. He is the head of the Fiqh Council of North America. That's the highest Islamic jurisprudence council in the United States. He is also among the signers of this letter, and he will give us an executive summary both in Arabic and English. So without any further delay, Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Muzammil Siddiqui, M-U-Z-A-M-M-I-L, last name Siddiqui, S-I-D-D-I-Q-I. I'm the chairman of the Fiqh Council of North America, FIQH. This is the Islamic Jurist Council, the Islamic Law Council in North America. And we have endorsed this letter because this letter is written by prominent, well-recognized Muslim scholars around the world. And the letter is written in Arabic. So Arabic is the original. The English translation has some difficulties to translate the technical terminology of that. But this letter is directed to those who are with this so-called Islamic State, ISIS, and their leadership, and anybody who might be influenced by their rhetoric. So let me read the basics of summary in Arabic language so that people may understand, those who understand Arabic, what is being said here. الرسالة هذه موجهة إلى إبراهيم عواد البدري الملقب بأبو بكر البغدادي وإلى جميع المقاتلين والمنتمين إلى ما سموه الدولة الإسلامية. مختصر تنفيذي: لا يجوز في الإسلام الإفتاء إلا بعد استكمال الشخص المفتي لشروط الاجتهاد المنصوص عليها في كتب الأصول، ولا يجوز الاقتباس من آية في القرآن الكريم لحكم ما دون اعتبار جميع النصوص. لا يجوز الحكم الشرعي في الإسلام دون إتقان اللغة العربية. لا يجوز في الإسلام الاستسهال في الأمور الشرعية بعدم اعتبار العلوم الشرعية. يجوز الاختلاف في الإسلام في غير المعلوم من الدين بالضرورة. لا يجوز في الإسلام عدم اعتبار فقه الواقع. لا يجوز في الإسلام قتل النفس البريئة. لا يجوز في الإسلام قتل الرسل السفراء، وبالتالي لا يجوز قتل الصحفيين. الجهاد في الإسلام دفاعي وهو منوط بسبب شرعي وأسلوب شرعي وغاية شرعية. لا يجوز التكفير في الإسلام إلا لمن صرح بالكفر. لا يجوز الإساءة للنصارى بأي طريقة ما أو لأهل الكتاب. يجب اعتبار اليزيديين من أهل الكتاب. لا يجوز الرق في الإسلام بعد انتهائه بالإجماع. لا يجوز في الإسلام الإكراه على الدين. لا يجوز في الإسلام سلب حقوق النساء. لا يجوز في الإسلام سلب حقوق الأطفال. لا يجوز في الإسلام إقامة الحدود بدون إجراءات تضمن العدالة والرحمة. لا يجوز في الإسلام التعذيب. لا يجوز في الإسلام المثلة. لا يجوز في الإسلام نسبة الأفعال المحرمة والفاحشة إلى الله تعالى. لا يجوز في الإسلام تدمير قبور الأنبياء والصحابة ومقاماتهم. لا يجوز في الإسلام الخروج على الحاكم لأي سبب دون الكفر البواح ما قام الصلاة. لا يجوز في الإسلام إعلان الخلافة بدون إجماع الأمة الإسلامية. الانتماء إلى الأوطان جائز في الإسلام. لا هجرة بالضرورة بعد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الإسلام. So these are 24 points. Point by point, the ideology is being rejected, and there is the English summary is there. It simply says that you cannot give fatwa without fully understanding the text, as it are mentioned in the Quran, throughout the Quran, and the sayings of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. So it is forbidden in Islam to issue legal rulings about anything without mastery of the Arabic language and the text. It is forbidden in Islam to oversimplify the rules, Sharia matters, and ignore established Islamic sciences. It is permissible in Islam to differ on any matter except those fundamentals of religion that are known in Islamic law. It is forbidden in Islam to ignore the reality of contemporary issues, contemporary time when driving legal rulings. It is forbidden in Islam to kill the innocent. It is forbidden in Islam to kill emissaries, ambassadors, and diplomats. Hence, it is forbidden to kill the journalists and aid workers. Jihad in Islam is defensive war only. It is not permissible without the right cause, the right purpose, and without the right rules of conduct. It is forbidden in Islam to declare people non-Muslims unless he or she openly declares this belief. It is forbidden in Islam to harm or mistreat in any way Christians or any people of the scripture. It is obligatory to consider Yazidis as people of the scripture. The reintroduction of slavery is forbidden in Islam. It was abolished by universal consensus. It is forbidden in Islam to force people to convert. It is forbidden in Islam to deny women their rights. It is forbidden in Islam to deny children their rights. It is forbidden in Islam to enact legal punishment without following the correct procedures to ensure justice and mercy. It is forbidden in Islam to torture people. It is forbidden in Islam to disfigure the dead. It is forbidden in Islam to attribute evil acts to God. It is forbidden in Islam to destroy the graves and shrines of prophets and companions. Armed insurrection is forbidden in Islam for any reason. It is forbidden in Islam to declare a caliphate without consensus from all Muslims. Loyalty to one's nation is permissible in Islam. After the death of the Prophet, peace be upon him, Islam does not require anyone to emigrate anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siddiqui. I would like now to introduce Mr. Osama Jamal, the Secretary General of the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, USCMO.
Thank you. Yeah, again, my name is Osama Jamal, spelled O-U-S-S-A-M-A, last name is J-A-M-M-A-L, representing the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations and umbrella organizations for major national grassroots organizations throughout the United States. We are here to support and endorse the open letter written and issued by top Muslim scholars throughout the world. We believe the letter refutes the claim made by ISIS and the like-minded. It actually goes beyond ISIS, that this so-called Islamic State does not really represent a state or anything that is Islamic. Under Islam, there is justice, there's rules of law, there is common sense. None of their action has passed any litmus test to prove that they have an Islamic, a sound Islamic ideas. We are here to reiterate our position that we are totally and unequivocally against any violent extremism, whether represented by ISIS or the like-minded other groups. We are also educating our community members not to fall prey to such ideas and such efforts by such groups for recruitment. We know it's a concern, but we are very vigilant as far as having our young people fall victims to such efforts. I think the community throughout the United States is very well aware of these efforts, and we are united against any of these violent extreme ideas. So we are here to reiterate that position, and we will continue to work together in fighting such violent ideas that is contrary to the basic tenets of Islam. Thank you.
Thank you, Osama. I will continue introducing the representatives of the national organizations. So I would like to introduce now Dr. Sayed Saeed, representing ISNA, Islamic Society of North America.
Good afternoon. We are commanded by the Quran that whenever there is a controversy among Muslims, they should refer to our scholars. Here in America, we are proud to have established a very strong Islamic Fiqh Council of North America, where we refer to them whenever there is any issue that we need to clarify. And we are very proud and very clear to see the statement that they have given. Islamic Society of North America that I represent is lovingly called ISNA, that has nurtured for more than half a century communities of peace, hope, constructively and positively integrated in the American mainstream. We have taken our faithful message of pluralism and peace around the world with pride. We have stood against extremism, exploitation, and religious violence. Our faith, and in all faiths. We have condemned ISIS and its ideology, not only because it could pose an existential threat to us and our country, but also for the destruction of the rich Islamic legacy of peaceful coexistence of minorities in Iraq and Syria. We join our respectable Islamic Fiqh Council and other Islamic organizations in affirming that it has become our religious duty to dislodge ISIS and rebuild a society of peace, justice, and compassion in the Middle East. We believe that Muslim community in America has built a vision, experience, and understanding of Islam and is qualified to promote dialogue, conflict resolution in the region of Middle East. We have achieved this in our country by working shoulder to shoulder with diverse communities, healthily integrating through mutual respect, understanding, and empowerment. So this is our message. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saeed. Now I would like just to ask each one of our incoming speakers to give like a short statement of support. First, Mr. Rafi Ahmed, President of the Muslim Association of Virginia.
Good afternoon. My name is Refuting Ahmed, R-A-F-I-U-D-D-I-N-A-H-M-E-D. I'm here to support the document by the Fiqh Council of North America. Muslim Americans, along with Muslims all around the world, have denounced the acts of ISIS. I'm not going to further elaborate. I think our speakers have spoken very eloquently as to why and how Islam condemns these acts. Hopefully, from now on, we can separate the criminal acts from the peaceful religion of Islam. Muslims, peaceful Muslims, Americans, on a daily basis, contribute towards the fabric of this nation, and we will continue to do so in a peaceful manner and for the development of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. And now with Ahmed Badir from United Voices for America.
Hello, Ahmed Badir, AHMED. Last name is BEDIER, from United Voices for America. I also step forward to support this statement, this letter, an unprecedented letter from Muslim scholars around the world, muftis. Some of them are current muftis, basically the highest religious authority in many different nations have signed on to this letter. And I'm stepping forward to also endorse it. It's clear to Muslims around the world that what this group is doing is un-Islamic. What is not clear so far is to the media that they're un-Islamic. And for some reason, different personalities, whether they're media individuals or politicians, continue to play and into the narrative of ISIS, which I'd like to call them Daesh, a name they despise, their Arabic word, which the French decided to also use. And to the rest, they've set up a narrative that says that they're defending Muslim lands and the Islamic civilization from the West. In order to defeat them, we have to have a better narrative. So it's clear to us, and from the text that's here, that everything they're doing is un-Islamic. Just about every act is forbidden in our faith. So if someone does everything contrary to the faith, how is it the media continues to link them to Islam? Some actually reinforcing their narrative. In order to defeat them, we can't play into their narrative, we can't play into their frames and their media strategies. We have to defeat them with a better narrative. And it has to go beyond rhetoric. So I step forward to also, like others have said, that their acts are un-Islamic. To behead people is un-Islamic. To kill prisoners of war is un-Islamic. To force people to convert is un-Islamic. To claim a caliphate without the consensus of their people is un-Islamic. We stand opposed to them. We would want our leaders and the media to also help in this narrative and stop calling them the Islamic State, because they're not a state and they're not a religion. And like the previous speaker said, it has to go beyond just bombing and air campaigns. There has to be a comprehensive plan to defeat them. And it's going to, wherever you don't have democracy and freedom, groups like ISIS will flourish. So the president was right to say that they're a cancer, but this cancer grows rapidly wherever you don't have freedom and democracy. Where freedom and democracy exist, why don't we have ISIS in America and in Western nations? Because we have freedoms and democracies, and wherever that exists, violence will less likely exist. So thank you very much.
Now we would like to hear from Imam Faisal Khan. He's the Imam of the Islamic Society of the Washington area.
Thank you very much. I'm here to represent the Islamic Society of Washington area and also the General Secretary for the Council of Muslim Organizations in the Washington, D.C. area. I publicly want to endorse the efforts by the Fiqh Council and the scholars around the world to denounce the atrocities in the name of Islam by the so-called ISIS. What has been happening in the Muslim world and will continue to happen as a result of ISIS activity, they probably will be the future face of Muslims and Islam in the world. We must stop this, because this will be the image that we will see portrayed by ISIS. And so we must have a comprehensive plan, as outlined. And we must make efforts to make sure that we collectively make all efforts in our own institutions so that we can be able to continue this propaganda against ISIS and prevail in the long term so that we be successful and portray the true image of Islam and Muslims. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Imam Khan. Would like to hear now from Imam Abu Nahidian. He's from Manassas Mosque in Virginia.
Good afternoon. My name is ABU. Last name is Nahidian. Actually, the Islam has not been attacked today by the ISIS, but has been done in varieties of the ways. Supporting all of our scholars that have said against ISIS, it has no basis on Islam at all. Our Holy Quran starts with two words, that it is most gracious, most merciful. And all of the Prophet, the way that they teach us is that humanity is either your brethren in Islam or human in race. In both cases, the Almighty God is giving them whatever that they want. Who are we to deprive it from them? ISIS is nothing but anti-humanity, not only anti-Islamic, anti-humanity existence that it is completely rejected by our scholars and this brother of yours. Thank you.
Would like to hear now from Imam Muhammad Ahmad, local Imam in Virginia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. I want to start by mentioning a verse in chapter 2 in the Quran, verse 256, when God said, "La ikraha fi dini qad tabayyana ar-rushd min al-ghayy." There is no force of compulsion in religion. قد تبين الرشد من الغي. Indeed, guidance became clear out of the misguidance, very clear. And today, this letter we have, and I hold here in my hand, holds the unanimous of the Muslim scholars around the globe about their stand and the stand of Islam in 1400 years, about where we stand about ISIS. This is the tradition. So we are in a point of history for Muslims and everybody alike. Either we gonna look at our tradition, the Muslim tradition over 1400 years, or we're gonna let ISIS reinterpret the religion in 2014 and to come up with their own new narrative. That's exactly where we are. And this is the job for the media. Take this letter, look at it, and share it with the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Muhammad. Now I'd like to call on Bob Morrow from All Dallas Area Muslim Society.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming. I represent the All Dulles Area Muslim Society, or ADAMS, which is in Sterling, Virginia. ADAMS is the largest Muslim community in the Virginia area, as well as one of the largest in the United States. Our Imam, Muhammad Majid, is actually in New York today for the President's speech. I'm not going to talk about the scholarly approach to this, because I think you've heard enough about it, but let me tell you just from the lay perspective. The ADAMS community represents Muslims from all over the world, from Morocco to Malaysia and Indonesia, from South Africa, from Europe, as well as a significant number from here in the United States, born and bred Americans. I can tell you that within that community, you will not find a single voice that would ever express anything like support for what ISIS is doing. This is considered by the lay people, the people who are not the scholars, but who are Muslims and devout Muslims, even people who are just non-practicing Muslims, who would absolutely condemn everything that ISIS is doing and betraying all the principles that they hold so sacred with their religion, the principles that attracted me to this religion as well. This is something which is absolutely anathema, and I could not be more pleased that the scholars have gotten together and tried to delineate what the actual tenets of Islam say about this religion and about what ISIS is purporting to do, because it has nothing to do with what mainstream Muslims feel about their religion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Last but not least, Imam Benjamin Abdul Haq, Assistant Imam to Masjid Muhammad in Washington.
Good afternoon. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Imam Benjamin Abdul Haq, Assistant to Imam Talib Sharif, who could not be here. He's on his way back to Washington, D.C. from Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm actually representing him, Imam Talib Sharif and Master Muhammad. Much has been said over and over as we have these press conferences. But I want to reinstate what Brother Nihad Awad said in regards to the media and you all joining us in this fight. This is a fight for the best of humanity. This is a testament to our unity as humanity. We want to come together and ask, we know that you all as media, I want to talk to you all. We know as media, you can't do but so much unless your editor or your producers allow it. Someone mentioned about the terminology of jihadists. These terminologies that are really positive, the word jihad is a positive for us. It's not a negative. We don't want not just ISIS, but nor do we want the media to redefine what Islam truly is. And I'm speaking as a person who was awakened to Islam. I'm not a convert. I was awakened to Islam. I didn't convert to Islam. I was awakened to the beautiful message of Islam. And I decided, along with my mother also, who accepted Islam before her passing, to accept Islam because of the beauty in it. So we joined all of our brothers and the sisters who couldn't even make it here today, because it's not just about men either. So I know that may come up, where are the sisters or where are the women? They're with us. They may not be here today. But it's a united front that we're all representing here, and we're asking you all to join us in this united front. And join us in this document that we have. I am very pleased, speaking for Master Muhammad, Imam Talib Sharif as the Imam there, we're very pleased to see this document put together, and we're asking you all to talk to the editors, and we'd like to meet with the editors as well as the producers of your television stations to begin to join us in the changing of the language and in the proper use of the language. ISIS cannot be an Islamic state when they do not have an Islamic state of mind. Thank you.
Thank you all. Now, if you have any question, please come forward. Just mention your name and which media outlet you represent.